Welcome to Sunday service with the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Catherine Adams, and whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race, gender, whomever you love, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we welcome you. If you're new to this community, and especially if you're visiting today, I invite you to introduce yourself in the chat box by simply typing your name. You'll also find a link there that will help you to learn more information about us. We invite you to join us at today's Inquirers class for visitors and newcomers at 12 noon on Zoom. The Zoom link for today's class can be found on the homepage of ERUUF.org in the events section. Though our Sunday morning services are being produced from the sanctuary, they continue to be live streamed only as we do our part to slow the spread of COVID-19. Unless otherwise announced, all programs will continue as they have online. You can find out more about this and information about what's going on in upcoming weeks at ERUUF.org.
Good morning and happy holidays. My name is Reverend Jacqueline Brett, and this morning's service is being led by our youth who have participated in our year-long Coming of Age program. As with so much they and we have experienced this year, today's virtual service is not what they'd initially imagined, but they have brought their incredible hearts, beautiful spirits, and the gifts of their being to this Sunday morning. The invitation for each of us is to open our hearts and receive their offerings as we celebrate their light and presence in this beloved community and in the world beyond our walls. On this Sunday, the collection beyond our regular pledges will be in support of Urban Ministries of Durham. How you'll find out later in this service more about Urban Ministries and how our youth have been involved with this organization over the years, and how you too can support our work. Today's music is presented by Catherine Adams, Theo Lewis, and Andrew Hartman. Today's tech team is Daniel Trollinger, Sean Tremble, Jenny Jolly, and Scott Gaskins is on sound.
I invite us all to now center ourselves and take a deep breath in. And let it out. Let us begin worship.
Good morning. My name is Alex Hartman, and this is Henry Green. Our opening words today are called Grounding in Our Faith by Alice Anchika Nazman. In a time of uncertainty, when everything around us is changing constantly, each day, new developments, rising numbers, changing guidelines, when the world we live in suddenly seems upside down, we light our chalice to remind ourselves of our grounding in our faith. We remember that the flaming chalice came in to begin as a beacon of hope, a secret symbol that offers help. In the midst of it all, we wrap ourselves in the warm light of the familiar flame, a reminder of the strength that emerges when we come together in community.
Good morning. I am Julia Tyler. I'm the Director of Religious Education at the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Welcome to our first ever online coming of age worship service. This service is led by the youth who've participated in the coming of age program here at ERUUF. Coming of age, like bar mitzvah or confirmation, is a religious rite of passage to support teenagers as they undergo sometimes rocky and intense personal growth and change. Coming of age includes adult UU mentorship, RE classes, retreats, and spiritual practice. Our coming of age participants are pushed to think about hard questions, including theology, philosophy, community, values, and beliefs. At the end of the program year, our coming of age youth write credos, which are faith statements. These credos are a culmination of all the classes and conversations, workshops, and retreats. In a moment, our youth will begin sharing their credos in this service. First, I lift up a heartfelt thank you to the incredible teachers and mentors who've made all this possible. Your service, your thoughtfulness, your love is what supports our youth. You are directly nurturing the emotional, moral, and spiritual well-being of these people. On behalf of all of ERUUF, thank you. And second, I want to share how impressed I am by this particular group of teenagers. As this is my 6th year here at ERUUF, I've had the chance to watch this cohort grow from elementary-aged children to high school youth who are now on the cusp of young adulthood. We say in our welcome to ERUUF every week in our worship service how every single person is welcome no matter what. This group lives out that message of radical welcome. They are radically welcoming through their generosity with each other, through their authenticity, and their hospitality. I am blown away how much they respect each other, stand up for each other, and hold space for each other. You can feel almost a physical holding of space. Time to think, time to breathe, time to process, time to collect themselves. There's no hurry ever. A generosity of time, of spirit, abundant patience in this group. They intuitively know this practice of caring for each other, of holding space, is a spiritual practice in itself. I am so proud of these young people, and I am honored to direct the program. And now, with great joy, I introduce our first speaker, Andrew Hartman.
Hello, my name is Andrew Hartman. I am 18 years old, and I am in the 12th grade at Riverside High School. I would like to share with you all some of my beliefs. This is a life statement about who I am and what I believe in. I do not believe in a godlike figure. In my opinion, there is no godlike figure watching over all life itself. People should do what they want instead of believing in a godlike figure. In my opinion, there was a big bang from a massive star explosion. There are some things that I do agree with people who believe in a godlike figure, but most of the time, I disagree. I agree with a friend who believes in a godlike figure, that we should always be nice to each other and help and enable each other to all that we are capable of becoming. We should also have trust in each other and respect each other's decisions. I believe people should do whatever they want within reason, children and adults. In my opinion, no one should be forced to do anything against their will. That they should make up their own minds. Children especially should do whatever they want, have fun to their heart's content. Most importantly, the younger generation, from the ages of 4 to 10, they should hang out with their friends, especially the kids from the ages of 3 to 5. They should go out to like a park with their friends and play at each other's houses. I think it's good for the older teenage kids to hang out with their siblings and friends who are younger than them, and always try to be a model for the younger generation. My moral beliefs in life itself is that there should always be a diplomatic solution to every conflict. Unless absolutely necessary, there should be no war. If there is an imminent threat of war, I think our government should do less to gain more power and corruption and more money, and I think they should try to have more peace talks with our enemies and find a diplomatic resolution. As a UU person, I think I don't have to abide by one religion. As a UU myself, I think I don't have to adhere to one set of moral living standards. I think I can follow my own path, and I don't have to answer to anyone how I think about how I should live my religious life. I think my church has made me feel comfortable about letting me choose how to live my religious life. I think faith is the moral codes I believe in. I live by my faith, and my faith defines who I am as a person. My faith makes me who I am and helps me be nice to my peers, co-workers, and always try to be a mentor to them. Thank you for listening to what I have to say. As I said above, this is a life statement, who I am and how my beliefs have shaped me in a person.
Who am I? Why am I here? Those are two questions I don't think will ever be answered. What I do know is I'm the only one who can know the full-on real me. People all over this world pretend to be someone they are not. Most people have probably gone through at least one phase in their life where they were scared to show their true self. I personally have been guilty of doing this. I can become the full-on real me without the fear of judgment when I'm around my closest friends and family. The time has come for me to take the leap of faith, let others know the real me. Sometimes I have times of complete darkness. It's just sometimes those days turn into months or weeks. During that time, I know I'll see the light again. It just feels like I'm trapped here forever. Every day, you, we, all of us, choose a path for that one day. It's just some days those paths end up to be broken. But I know I can't let it get to me. I know it's time to start living while I still can. Live in the moment. Appreciate it. Love while you can. This world, the place we call home, is full of hate. How do people decide they hate someone without even getting to know them, or because of the way they look, or who they love? As Tupac said, the hate you give little infants F's everybody. True statement. People tell their kids what they believe in, pass on the hate. I wish and hope that one day everyone can come together. We can set our differences aside. We as a whole planet need to change before it's too late. Maybe. What if it's already too late? Have you ever met someone you would learn to love, then go on and off? You get a second chance. I believe most people can change for someone they love. First-time impressions are important, but if once I befriend someone, something happens in the relationship, I believe there's time for first, second, and even third impressions. Give people more than one chance. I have not lived long, but if there's one thing I know, it's that I've been through ups and downs, through relationships, troubled friendships. People change for the best, sometimes for the worst. Because it is possible to love somebody but never speak to them again. Through super dark times, I know that I'm going to be better than I ever was. I have changed a lot since I was young. I grew up, got to see a little bit of the real world. The world is a beautiful but terrible place. At the same time, we have to just save it for my generation and for my children's generation. So I have to do as much as I can to contribute to this world. Throughout the course of my life, I've had one question. How can people love me if I don't even love myself? That is a question I don't think I will ever know the answer to. But I am learning to love myself.
Cause and effect is something that you probably haven't talked about since elementary school, but it plays a large role in everyone's lives. Like how someone in Wuhan eating tainted food could lead to countries shutting down, millions of people put in quarantine, and a worldwide pandemic. While writing this, the saying, "a butterfly flapping its wings in Japan causes a tsunami in California" comes to mind. How a single act, no matter how small, can have massive consequences. While writing this, I have spent the last week in my house and have no idea how long this quarantine will last, but it's given me time to think about my beliefs. Everyone believes in different things, whether that's heaven or karma or even God. I don't believe in a higher power because it just seems so odd. I do, however, believe in karma, because if you do something nice for others, chances are they'll do something nice for someone else that creates a cycle that eventually comes back to you. There are many beliefs that aren't set in stone for me, the most important one being what happens after you die. I have no idea what happens, but I hope that there is something. I suppose no one knows what happens after you die because they're dead. I do know that whatever I believe in now will change and evolve as I change and evolve. As a teenager, I haven't had many experiences with life, I haven't traveled much, and haven't met a lot of people. I can't predict what will happen next, or how long I'll live. There's so much that I don't know. However, if we come together as a species, we can do great things. We can answer life's toughest questions, we can land a man on the moon, and we can cure diseases that have plagued humanity for centuries. We can solve environmental issues that will affect us for years, and we can change the world. I've only been coming to this church for 4 years now, and in that time, I've been to classes in OWL, neighboring faiths, and now coming of age. Our old church in Raleigh was a place where I spent a lot of time. Whether that was in service or Sunday school, I was there. After we started coming to ERUUF, the classes were interesting and I started to make more friends. I've met the most amazing people, been taught by incredible teachers, and met the most wonderful mentor. This I believe. As a species, we need to come together, and even though I'm just one person, I have a great impact on the people around me and the world.
Hey guys, it's Alex, and today I'm going to be reading the children's story. And the story today we're doing is The Kissing Hand by Audrey Penn. Chester Raccoon stood at the edge of the forest and cried. "I don't want to go to school," he told his mother. "I want to stay home with you. I want to play with my friends and play with my toys and read my books. Please, may I stay home with you?" Miss Raccoon took Chester by the hand and nuzzled him in on the ear. "Sometimes we all have to do things we don't want to do," she told him gently, "even if they seem strange or scary at first. But you will love school once you start. You'll make new friends and play with new toys, read new books, and swing on the new swings. Besides," she added, "I know a wonderful secret that will make your nights at school seem as warm and cozy as your day at home." Chester wiped away his tears and looked interested. "A secret? What kind of secret?" "A very old secret," said Mrs. Raccoon. "I learned it from my mother, and she learned it from hers. It's called the kissing hand." "The kissing hand?" asked Chester. "What's that?" "I'll show you." Miss Raccoon took Chester's left hand and spread open his tiny little fingers into a fan. Leaning forward, she kissed Chester right in the middle of his palm. Chester felt his mother's kiss rush from his hand up to his arm and into his heart. Even his silky black mass tingled with special warmth. Miss Raccoon smiled. "Now," she said, "whenever you feel lonely and need a little loving from home, just press your hand to your cheek and think, 'Mommy loves you.' And that kiss will jump right to your face and fill you with toasty, warm thoughts." She took Chester's hand and carefully wrapped his finger around the kiss. "Now do be careful not to lose it," she teased him. "But don't worry, when you open your hand and wash your food, I promise the kiss will stick." Chester loved his kissing hand. Now that he knew his mother's love would go with him wherever he went, even to school, he felt better. That night, Chester stood in front of his school and looked thoughtful. Suddenly, he turned to his mother and grinned. "Give me your hand," he told her. Chester took his mother's hand in his own and unfolded her large, familiar fingers into a fan. Next, he leaned in forward and kissed the center of her hand. "Now you have a kissing hand too," he told her, and with a gentle goodbye and "I love you," Chester turned and danced away. Miss Raccoon watched Chester scamper across the tree limb and enter school. As the hoot owl rang in the new school year, she pressed her left hand to her cheek and smiled. The warmth of Chester's kiss filled her heart with special words. "Chester loves you," and it sang, "Chester loves you." I love you. Okay, guys, that's all for the children's story. Thank you for listening, and I will see you very soon with our credos. Hi, my name is Alex Hartman, and I'm a junior at Durham School of the Arts. About 7 years ago, my parents brought me to my first ERUUF service, and I don't remember exactly what happened or what was said, but I do remember the feeling. I felt safe, and this joy rushed through my body. Little did I know that that same exact feeling would happen every time I would step into the building. Growing up in this environment, it was very easy to learn about myself and what I believe, but funny enough, when I was given the task of writing my faith statement, it was pretty hard. I had the idea in my head that this would be given in person in May, 7 months ago, but everything has changed, so I had to change my credo. At the beginning of coming of age, I thought faith statements would be each one of us getting up in front of the congregation saying if we believed in God or not. But I've learned that you can really take these however you want. But I will tell you, I don't believe in God, and I've never seen or felt his presence. I don't believe our actions are all because of where we want to go in life or what happens after we die. I believe that what you put in the world is what you are going to get back. And I believe if you work hard, you are going to accomplish what you're going after. I believe that we are humans, and race, sexual orientation, gender, nationality, class, and what you believe in does not define you as a person. The things that I just said can be very controversial in most places, but in this church, I am not afraid to say them. The things that I love about ERUUF is that we don't always have to believe in the same things, but we come to this place and you don't have to worry about everyone believing something different. This has been my safe place. Every Sunday I can come here and feel safe and valued. This fellowship is not like anywhere I've ever been before. This fellowship is who I am today. This fellowship has taught me that every person on this planet has value. This fellowship has taught me that things aren't always black and white. It's taught me to stand up for what I believe in. Because of this fellowship, I'm not afraid to speak my mind on politics and racial issues. Because of this fellowship, I am confident in myself and my values. But something else this fellowship has taught me is that I should never force my opinions or religion on anyone. This is what is different. This is what put me in the best position to go out and do great things. I now go out into the world not valuing the unknown. I value the people. I value the person that gave flowers to their wife just because. I value the little boys who let the girl play basketball with them on the playground. And I value the parents that never stop working to make their kids happy. I believe we shouldn't go into the world and judge immediately. I believe that everyone is capable of great things. I believe whoever you are and wherever you come from, you are valued. This church has taught me that. Whether you have been in my class for 7 years or I've never talked to you before, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for giving me my safe place. I will take this experience and try my hardest to make it the same for another person. Thank you to the advisors who have taught me everything I am saying today. Thank you to the kids who have played sardines with me during lock-ins. Thank you to Cayer, who I think we can all say is the most positive and accepting person, for helping me through this process. And thank you to my family, who has been there for me no matter what. I am very confident when I say I am in absolute awe of my religion and this fellowship. You are the backbone of who I am today. You have changed my life.
Hi, my name is Theo. I'm 16 and in the 10th grade. Coming of age has been an incredible experience for me. From the deep and thoughtful questions surrounding religion, beliefs, and core values to escape rooms and locker rooms, I'm delighted that I chose to sign up. I wasn't sure what to write for my credo. I believe that people's actions will always speak louder than words. However, there are fundamental values that I think are important to acknowledge. I'm not religious, but I believe in accepting everyone as long as their words and actions are not harmful or from a place of ignorance. I believe being aware of the advantages you've been given and born with is important to acknowledge, but does not decide who you are and absolutely shouldn't dictate your role in society. I feel life is about pursuing happiness, fulfillment, and while in the grand scheme of things you can feel insignificant, having a positive impact in your community. Friends and family are so important, especially during this pandemic. I think my credo could be something different every week, if not day to day, but I know my core values will stay with me. I want to thank my mentor Dan for the help and support these last months, the ERUUF community for their acceptance and generosity, and finally my parents, especially my mom, for all the support, for how hard she has had to work these past few months. Thank you for listening.
My name is Kai Hodges, and I am one of the many youth that participated in Coming of Age this year. Coming of Age has been an amazing experience for me and has challenged me in ways I didn't think I would ever have to be challenged in. Having to sit down and really think about what I have faith in wasn't as easy as I thought it would be, but I tried my best. When I think of what I have faith in, I like to think about how I'm able to always push through hardships and help others do the same. When I'm stressed about school or life stuff, I do my best to convince myself that I can figure it out, and there's no reason at all to get stressed over it. I've always done my best to never judge people on their appearance or opinions, and I'd like to believe others do the same, but I know that isn't always true. Having to write this in the middle of a pandemic wasn't the most convenient, but it has given me way too much time to sit and think about my beliefs. I feel like a lot of people don't realize how much they rely on their friends for literally everything. But having spent so much time away from them, I realized that being able to hang out with my friends was the most important thing in my life. Simply being with people other than my family, no offense guys, is so important I can't put it into words. As I'm writing this, I'm in a pretty good mood. And if I were feeling down about something, this would probably sound completely different. So I'm sure this credo will always be changing, and I will have to rethink it many times. But for now, thank you to all my COA teachers, to Simon Kaplan helping me do my best, and the ERUUF community as a whole for always being there for me. Oh yeah, and my family too. They're pretty important.
Hello, my name is Andrew Hartman, and this is a meditation brought to you by Catherine Adams and myself. Let's take a moment to reflect on all that we have learned this year. Let us also take a moment to reflect how we were unable to be together due to COVID-19. We have all had some dark times during this era, but we have to pull ourselves back and remember all of the good times we've had. It is easy to feel lost and isolated. Remember that you are not alone. Well, you have a whole community of friends and family there for you. Remember it is okay for things to be different. You don't have to have all of the answers. You don't have to know who you are to be enough. Life is a series of moments, not a destination. You are allowed to figure things out day by day, hour by hour, and minute by minute. No matter what happens, well, we can get through this if we be patient and stick together. Remember to take care of yourself and be safe. Thank you for listening.
COA has taught me a lot of things. It taught me ways to think about faith and religion. This credo is a summary of my final conclusions after letting these ideas brew inside of my mind. God might not exist, but it wouldn't matter if they did, because nothing really matters anyway. Nothing matters because, in the end, the only thing that matters is what's going on in this very moment. Nothing matters, but at the same time, everything matters. However, thinking in this duality is unhealthy and not fun. A lot of the time when I get overwhelmed with all the things that matter to me, I flip and realize that nothing matters, which makes me depressed. So nothing doesn't matter because lots of things matter. But we need to focus on the main ones that do, like reaching true serenity and having a good life for ourselves. I think that the only way to reach this is through patience and being unafraid to get hurt. In order to reach true serenity and contentment, we need to stop questioning why bad things happen to good people and why good things happen to bad people. Bad things happen to good people because the world is balanced. The universe is a vast scale, but it's okay because we don't need to worry about it. We need to first answer the question, what is a good person? What is a bad person? It all depends on your point of view. No matter how nonpartisan the being, there will always be bias, and that is something we will never be able to get away from as human beings. We cannot try to get away from it. Instead, acknowledge it and move on. Instead, bad things happen because things happen. As soon as we realize that we have no control over this, we can reach true serenity. People always say that happiness and fulfillment come from doing what you love, but so often we are told that what we love isn't valid. In reality, doing what you love can be anything, but many have said that the most fulfilling thing to do is help others. Doing what makes you happy in this economy is what will make us feel fulfilled, and what will make us feel that our lives are worth living. Pushing ourselves and being ambitious without being afraid of what might happen to us is what will make us feel fulfilled. Having friends that we can trust will make us feel fulfilled. Having a life full of controversy will not, in the end, make someone feel fulfilled. But having a life of serenity and self-worth, despite what people may think of you on the outside, is what will make us reach true serenity. My goal in life is to reach true serenity. Biologically, for all organisms, the goal in life is to reproduce, but we as humans have clearly transcended that need. In COA, I have made so many new friends and deepened my relationships with old ones. They have provided me with happiness, which, with my lack of serotonin, I desperately need. Sometimes, when I feel hopeless, or I feel that life isn't worth living anymore, I just need to rub my eyes and look outside. I go outside and look at the trees, and I think what miracles have occurred so that that tree could come into life. Billions of years ago, cell structure came into existence, then unicellular plant cells evolved into more complex life forms. And then so many different genetic mutation and factors created the tree that I look at now. The sea that the wind blew that was part of the tornado that brought the tree into that piece of land. What little thing could have stopped at any point in this process that would have stopped that tree from existing? Imagine how the odds were stacked up against the tree. Nevertheless, the tree stands. It is not of its own success or talent, but it just is. The tree exists because it does. That's the way we are. We don't exist because we were put here for a purpose, but simply because we are here. We cannot spite ourselves for not doing good enough, because at the end of the day, we are here, and we should try to make the best of it. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Cece, and today I'll be reading you my faith statement. When I was 10, I was taken away from my mother after a domestic violence case. Then I went to my grandparents, which were very religious people and not exactly the best people to come out to if you're in the LGBTQ+ family. Things didn't work out with them, so I was removed from their care. Then I went to the Sonas, my first foster home, and I had lots of fun. Went to many different states, mountains, beaches, etc. Overall, it was a really fun experience. Even though they were religious, I still felt safe and loved. All of a sudden, they had to go to Europe for a family trip, and I was so sad because I couldn't go because I was in foster care and I didn't have a passport, which really sucked. So they had to put me in a group home, which was very horrible and lonely. I had to be in the group home for 2 months, and what I didn't know is that they didn't want to be my foster parents anymore because they want me to go to my forever home. I ended up spending my 12th birthday in a group home with no friends. Isn't that just swell? Finally, I got news from my social worker that there was someone interested in taking me in, and I was so excited. Her name is Sherilyn, and she is now classified as my mother. We have a lot in common, like our love for traveling, exploring our local, state, and national parks, animals, which we have a lot of, biking, and plants too. My favorite plants being tropical plants, orchids, oxalis, Mexican petunia, and amaryllis. They bring me joy and give me my own space to relieve myself of stress when I look at them and watch them grow. My bunnies really help with stress relief. I got them when they were just tiny little babies, and watching them grow up and grow into their own little personalities has been the most exciting thing of all. One of the greatest things about animals is that you both learn to build trust with each other, and it teaches you love, respect, and patience, which you could use for the rest of your life. So what did I learn from this experience? I learned that most people see religion as something you should or shouldn't do, while I see religion as your love and respect for others. Religion is not all bad. It's when people impose their beliefs on others is when it feels wrong. When I learned about Buddhism, it changed my view on life and religion. I now know that we can all believe in what we want to believe, and that's okay. In the end, only 3 things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. This quote is by Buddha. Thank you so much for watching and listening.
Good morning. My name is Catherine. I am 16 and I'm in the 11th grade.
To be alive is truly terrifying. There really isn't any way around it. It is so hard to fathom what we're looking at, experiencing, feeling, and why any of this exists. Sometimes it's overwhelming to imagine the vastness of the universe. Why am I here? Why is any of this here? As humans, we try to come up with answers. Maybe it's God's plan. Maybe if we do good now, we'll have infinite happiness afterwards. Maybe this was all a coincidence, and we're just here and then we die, and that's it. We want to control everything and know everything, but one of the core parts of being human is that there are some things we just do not know. And I think one of the most beautiful things about being alive is that we don't know why we are. I think the vastness of the universe is beautiful. I sometimes look up at the sky and think about how small I am. To some, this is scary and overwhelming. It can sometimes make you feel unimportant. But to me, it is the opposite. We are each one tiny, tiny person in an unfathomably large universe, yet we each hold such power and possibility. Maybe we don't know why we're here, but we're all alive, taking it day by day. I say all this, and you might think I sound like an easygoing person, which is funny because I preach about living in the moment and embracing uncertainty, but it is actually the thing I struggle most with. When I was 8, I was diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. It started out with traditional stuff like hand washing and repetition. I saw a therapist who, by the way, was Unitarian Universalist, and things got better for a while. Then in May of 2019, things crashed. I was paralyzed with the fear that I could not trust my body, or that something would go wrong and I would ruin things for other people or simply embarrass myself. I was unable to leave the house except for school and church. I missed out on opportunities to spend time with my family. I would cry before chorus concerts, when many of you know I love to perform. I came up with excuse after excuse to get out of things I thought might go wrong. It is the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with, and I'm not done with it. I have occasionally fallen into depression because it sometimes feels like it won't end, and I will keep missing out on life experiences. But I have made progress. I have seen another coincidentally UU therapist who has helped me cope. I have started taking anxiety medication. And most importantly, I have started to understand my strength. Though I am not perfect, I've learned that ultimately everything will be okay. Trying something and having it go wrong is better than not doing anything at all. I have been progressively learning the value of living in the moment and taking things one step at a time. I have been an activist for mental health through talking with friends who are having a hard time, online words of encouragement, and music. My goal is to help others realize their worth and live their lives to the fullest. I believe if you help one person in your life, that makes everything worth it. People often contemplate, is anything worth it? What is the meaning of life? I don't believe life has a set meaning. I think the meaning of life is to find for yourself what makes it meaningful. We often find meaning through our careers and hobbies. I think it also shows up in little things like the sound of somebody's voice. Or when you stay up too late playing Minecraft with your friends. When your friend says something so funny you can't breathe. When you sing a song with a group and feel the love and the energy in the room. The big hill in your neighborhood that your friends used to ride down when you played outside. In a world where it is so easy to feel alone, community and love are some of the most important things. I am so grateful for the people in my life that have supported me and that I have had the privilege of supporting. My parents, my brother, my friends, my teachers, my mentor, and all of you have taught me how to approach the world with love and confidence. Growing up at ERUUF has allowed me to learn about and love myself openly, and I could never fully express how lucky I am because of that. In a time of fear and isolation, I have been grateful to be able to still communicate with these people. In growing up, I've had to learn that some people will do evil things, and that sometimes bad things will happen to you because of other people. We have no control over that. And that's been a hard thing to cope with, especially this year. But ultimately, when you focus on the negatives and what could have been, you lose the chance of good coming out of what you're given. It is a powerful thing to channel sadness and anger and turn it into something beautiful. And ultimately, you are never alone in what you're going through. Thank you to my community for being with me through everything. You make everything worth it. So I don't know why we're here. I don't know if there's a God. I don't know what happens after we die. But I know that I'm here, you're here, and it will all be okay in the end. In the meantime, we can all be kind to each other and take things one step at a time. To me, that is what matters most. You never know what might happen, and that is a beautiful thing. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Bo Glenn, and I'm a member of the ERUUF Homeless Action Team. This month, during each Sunday service, we have highlighted the social justice work of ERUUF with the homeless here in Durham and asked for your financial support. As you know, the pandemic has hit the homeless community especially hard, and their needs continue to grow. Unitarian Universalists have always stepped up when there has been a great need, and the outpouring of good wishes and donations this month has been heartwarming, and we thank you. This Sunday, I would like to highlight one of the most inspiring aspects of this work, and that is the contributions of the young people here at ERUUF. Over the years, parents have brought their older children with them to cook and serve at the shelter, and they often comment on their surprise when their children roll up their sleeves and pitch in without complaint. I've noticed the proud look on their faces when their children have shown grace and concern on the serving line for someone obviously in need. And each year, the RE program has sent teams from the middle school and high school to cook and serve. And every year, the children have collected and wrapped underwear, socks, hats, and gloves for the shelter residents during the holiday season. We have a troop of Girl Scouts who first started coming to the shelter when they entered middle school. They now return to serve every January before their college classes have resumed. We have had families return to volunteer when it is clear it was their child's idea. And many children have gone on to volunteer in other ways at the shelter, sorting clothes, working in the food pantry, and even building a large cabinet for the clothing closet. We have had children who have grown into young adults, working in the kitchen, taking on more and more responsibility. Some have gone on to focus on human service in their careers. One never knows whether these children will continue in organized religion as adults, but what is clear is that they will always have a spiritual connection to those less fortunate. So in this final Sunday, I would like to applaud the young people of ERUUF and thank them for their selfless service. Thank you.
We are partners with life, co-creators. We have been blessed with life's gifts, and when we give out of that abundance, we find ourselves filled with a sense of connection and empowerment. We are part of the multitude who help to build the common good, and there can be such great joy in that. This is the time in our service when we have the opportunity to give. There's a link in the chat box to our secure giving portal. If you would like to make a contribution, you can give through that link now, or you could send a check to our office. All contributions this morning, in addition to regular pledges, will be given to our justice ministry teams so that they can provide meals at urban ministries this year. Our offertory music this morning is by Theo Lewis. We give thanks for all these gifts so generously given that help to weave goodness into the fabric of all life. Namaste. And now this morning, a blessing for our youth. In this season of gratitude, let us give thanks for our youth, who this November remind us of the springtime of life, new thoughts, new capabilities, who remind us to explore and seek and question and wonder, who remind us that courage comes in so many forms and that boldness is a great blessing, who remind us that we are all in this together, one community, and that together we are going on. ERUUF, Coming of Age Youth, as you begin to claim the gifts that life has bestowed upon you, know that we, the people of the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, love you and are cheering you on. Always be yourself. Lean into life with curiosity and courage. Stay connected to the ones you love. Stay connected to your faith as it continues to grow and change, as it surely will in all the days ahead. Go with love, go with peace. Go knowing that this community will always be here to welcome you home. Amen.
We are never complete.
We are never finished.
We're always yet to be.
May we allow others to be
and help to enable each other to grow
Towards all that we are capable of becoming.